Here's some good information for you, though. Last 20 years, based on gross production figures, we have had an increase of consumption of sugar in the United States by another 26 pounds to an average of 135 pounds of sugar per person per year.
Oh, my.
That's over 10 pounds.
That's,
it used to be at 7,
processed.
8 pounds,
Oh,
and
my.
now it's over 10 pounds per year.
Per
Where back in 1960 it was only 1900 it was only 5 pounds per year. So we're at 135 pounds average, which means there's probably a lot of people out there doing 200 pounds a year or more of sugar.
Yes, because I'm not eating that much. So I'm using mine.
Massive amounts of diabetes problems. Kills over 3.2 million people a year.
Well, right now, heart disease is number 1, diabetes is number 2, and cancer is 3. But
They keep fighting for number 1.
I was going to say,
yeah.
diabetes and heart disease has really been fighting for number 1 position.
Yeah, and cancer too. Cancer's been picking up a lot because of the
Environment,
chemicals and things like that. Yeah, and the feeders. We've got cancer feeders out there now. So, let's see. Sugar causes. These are some of the causes that sugar does. Hypoglycemia actually causes that. I didn't know that. I'm real hypoglycemic myself, and that's probably why, because I was sugar heavy.
Now, I was going to say, when you were overweight, though, and you had your lab work, didn't you tell me about how you were right there on that border, and now you're...
Right, and my glucose levels right now are at, they went from 106, which is borderline, to a type 2 diabetic, down to 83, which is right where it's supposed to be.
That's a good level.
Yeah, and my hypoglycemic, I don't even have it anymore. Every once in a while, I might need to grab an apple or a banana or something like that, but very rarely. I'm on a pretty consistent diet and everything. So, causes hypertension, food allergies. Sugar increases your risk of blood clots and strokes. Sugar contributes to your hyperactivity, anxiety, depression, crankiness, mood swings, things like that too. So. There's just a whole list of problems that come with sugar. And it doesn't matter. I mean, sugar is sugar. It doesn't matter if we're talking sugar, agave, or any one of these. Even honey is a high sugar item.
Honey is my favorite. If I'm going to use a sweetener, I like honey.
I do too, yeah.
And you know, it's so sweet you can only use a little bit of honey. But it's mentioned in the Bible, and I'm thinking if it's good enough for the Bible and for Jesus and John the Baptist, I think I could have a little honey periodically.
But honey has 20% more calories than any other sugar, and it has the highest rates of pesticides than any of the products.
Honey does.
Yes, and they never had that before, but when they're spraying all these fields and they got the honey, the bees out there that are pollinating, and they're bringing back and it's ending up with pesticides. So it's once again another problem with that particular sugar. But I like the honey, and I think a lot of it is just doing it in moderation and
it is.
That type of thing. Here's some obesity statistics, and a lot of these are based because of the overabundance of sugar that we're doing. And this is from the United States Health Council, the National Health and Nutrition Examination from the U.S. Health. Let's see here. Now, here's the amazing part. Overweight really hasn't changed that much. And this is over from 1970 till today. It just hasn't changed. There's not a greater number of people that are overweight. 18 to 29 had the biggest increase from 20% up to 28%. 30 to 44-year-olds, overweight went down from 32 to 31%. 45 to 65, overweight went down from 38% down to 34%. So overweight, the average number of people that are overweight actually went down over the last 30 years. But let's go to the obesity rate. The obesity rate from 18 to 29 years old, 18 to 29-year-olds, obesity rate has gone up from 9% up to 23%.
I see it.
33 to 44 has gone from 15% to 35%.
Oh my.
45 to 64 has went from 19% up to 41%. So you got all these people that were in the overweight category that they just moved right up into the obese category. And those overweight categories are being replaced by this next generation who's filling in those blanks.
Mark, that's
so
sad.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, look at the sickness that we have right now. Can you imagine what's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years?
Yeah, and right now we spend 17.5 cents for every dollar on health care. 1960, we only spent 5 cents on every dollar. 5 cents out of every dollar went towards healthcare in 1960. Now it's at 17.5, and they figure within the next 10 years we'll be at 20%, 20 cents of every dollar. I mean, we are actually eating ourselves right into poverty, into debt, because we're unhealthy, and we have to pay for this somehow as a nation.
And the technology that we have in this country is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have wonderful technology, and they do the best they can with the disease that we're fighting out there right now. But people, we have to be educated on what we have to do to overcome these diseases ourselves.
Well, see, the problem with the health system today is they're not into prevention, they're into detection. And there's a big difference between prevention and early detection. Early detection just gets you on drugs quicker. We need to get to the core of prevention, which comes from a change of lifestyle. And if you quit eating this sugar, just like the World Health Organization says, 80% of killer diseases are preventable if you just start eating right.
80%.
Yeah, 80% from the World Health Organization.
When you look at that, you know, I like to take another picture here. Okay, you have 1,000 people in the hospital at your local hospital. You realize that 80% of those people in that hospital do not have to be there.
Right.
They are there due to their lifestyle. Think of that, only 200 people would be in that hospital then.
But then you don't need all the doctors, you don't need all the,
I think that would be
you don't need all the
wonderful.
pharmaceutical medications,
Yeah, pharmaceuticals.
all that multi-billion-dollar industry.
But I want to be healthy, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, so it really is up to you. I mean, that's why we do these. That's why we do all these videos. That's why we tour the country, 10 months out of the year, making people aware that it is up to you to get healthy. The government's not going to do it for you. Your parents aren't going to do it for you. You've got to take action on your own initiative. And a lot of it, you just study more, you learn more, take it one step at a time. You don't have to do everything all at once, but take those steps bit by bit.
If it's just get out and walk.
Yeah.
If you really want to lower your blood pressure, walk. Diabetes, you want to help to lower the insulin, walk.
Get off that sugar.
Yeah.
Emory University Medical Studies did some studies too, along with a couple other universities, and Dr. Charles Radisson was behind this, that actually says that the problem with the high sugar is that it is an emotional depressant that triggers overweight, and then it's like an alcohol. The same addictive effects that alcohol or even gamblers have, that it's not just a physical addiction, but it has those emotional
it's a roller coaster
addictions
effect
that go
on our
with
body.
it. So he calls it a multi-dependency drug.
Wow.
Because it's not just hitting one physical aspect or one mental aspect, it's hitting both.
Oh.
And so that's what makes it so difficult to get off of. And so it's
a lot of information.
Yeah, it takes one step at a time, but you can get off of it. You can really get off that sugar quite easily. Talk about damage, though. I mean, it does so much damage to your life.
Sure does.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Want to go grab a soda?
Let's do it. How about water with lemon?
Water. Isn't water so much better?
I love water.
Yeah, you find so many people that just got to grab that soda. Yeah, so anyway, that's what we got to do. We got to get off that cholesterol, of course. You got to lower the salt. You got to get off that sugar. I mean, sugar is one of the worst items you could possibly have. What are some solutions we got other than sugar?
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
I love applesauce. You can do it in a lot of baking.
Dried fruits.
Oh, yes. For me, I just like fresh.
Fresh fruits. Dates,
dates, yeah, I
for
use
baking,
a lot of dates.
things like that.
When I make my oatmeal in the morning, I like to put dates in there, sometimes even in my rice, because I use grains. And me and my rice cooker.
Cinnamon. I saw you putting cinnamon on it.
Put a little cinnamon in there. I could put sliced peaches, fresh fruit, put it right in with my rice cooker and let it cook with my grains.
You're making my mouth water right now just thinking about it. So there are other options other than sugar. And go to the websites. Go to chefmarkanthony.com, melodyperdyman.com. She's got a whole bunch of recipes with low sugar, and I'm sure you'll like those. That's Melody Perdyman, PRETTYMAN.com, and I'll put a little tab right down below so you can read that. And we'll keep checking back and see what we can do next.